Hi, this is Jacob Peak, and this is the video for the exercise 210 midterm. I will be first explaining the purpose and everything before the exercise, and then I will be showing the video of me demonstrating the exercise as well as putting a client through the exercise. So first we're going to start with the push-up, and the purpose of a push-up is to build upper body press strength and also build core stability. And the different muscles involved in a push-up include the pec minor, the triceps, the anterior deltoid, your core, your serratus anterior, as well as your rotator cuff for different stabilizers. And then the joint actions include shoulder horizontal adduction, elbow extension, as well as isometric trunk stabilization. And then for the different phases, the concentric phase is the rising phase and the eccentric phase is the lowering phase. And then we'll get into the video of me demonstrating it now. As far as safety as well for the push-up, you want to make sure that your spine stays neutral just to prevent any straining or any sort of injury. So now we're going to be performing the push-up test, and I'm going to demonstrate first. I'm going to be making sure that my feet are close together, that my glutes are engaged, that my back stays flat, and that my core is braced. So I'll give a demonstration now. Also making sure that the hands are directly under the shoulders. I'll now have my client do push-ups from a kneeling position, making sure that her feet are close together, that I will be making sure that her elbows also do not flare, seeing that the glutes are engaged and that her back is flat, also that her head isn't drooping too much. All right, that looks pretty good. Stand up now. So now a plank hold will be done to assess for core endurance, as trunk instability may contribute to hip sag during the push-ups. And although the technique for her push-up was perfect, I'll still conduct the test just to make sure that everything is all good. And as you can see, the hips are not sagging at all, so this is a good sign. Okay, next I will be demonstrating the squat. And the purpose of the squat is to build lower body strength as well as power. And the muscles involved include the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, your quads, your hamstrings. Also involves different stabilizers like your core and your erector spinae. And then as far as the joint actions, you have hip flexion and extension, you have knee flexion and extension, you have ankle dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. And then the phases include eccentric being the lowering phase of the squat and concentric being the rising phase of the squat. So now we'll get into the video of me demonstrating the squat and then having a client perform the action. And then as far as safety goes for the squat, make sure if you're unsure about a certain weight, you have a spotter present and that you are bracing your core. Make sure to engage your core. Now we will be conducting the squat test. So I will first be giving a demonstration of how to properly perform a squat. So first what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have your feet shoulder width apart, and you're going to want to make sure that your knees are not bending inwards. So you're going to try to spread the floor apart with your feet. And then when you go down, you're going to want to act like you're sitting back into a chair. So I have my arms out as well. Go down. Making sure that the knees do not bend inward. Okay. Now I'll have my client conduct a squat, and what I'm going to be looking for is knee valgus, like knees bending inward. Have your feet shoulder width apart, and if you can put your arms out as well. And that's good. I'll also be assessing for heel lift. Okay, that's good. So now if you can go to the edge of this mat to lower her heels so that, because I noticed the heels lifting, there you go, and that solved the problem. Okay, we will now be performing an ankle dorsiflexion test to assess mobility, as limited dorsiflexion can contribute to heel elevation or forward lean like we saw. So here you just put your knee against the wall, nice, and then have that heel flat on the ground, then knee against the wall. Okay, so that looks good. Now if you can put your foot back a little bit and then try to put your knee against the wall now. And then can you move your foot back a little bit? And then try again. And as we can see, there is a little bit of heel lift showing there might be limited dorsiflexion range. So in this video, we went over 2 different exercises, demonstrated them, as well had a client perform the 2 exercises and corrected anything, if there was anything that needed to be corrected. We also went over the purpose for each exercise, the muscles involved, as well as the stabilizers, the different joint actions, as well as the different phases of movement. We then set up the exercise and then said what we were evaluating for, and then conducted 2 different tests for each exercise that could have contributed to the limited range of motion, such as the dorsiflexion for the squat or the plank test for the hip droop on the push-up. Thank you.